Alrighty, what is going on, people? This is Shok, and here is my review for Microsoft's E3 2019 conference. Um, I feel like it was maybe a little bit weaker than last year's, but I actually thought that it was still a pretty solid conference, and I'm pleasantly surprised that Microsoft 2 years in a row has consistently done what I feel like were solid conferences. Now, there was one overlying theme, one overlying problem with this conference that's not specific to Microsoft. It's kind of just how E3 has been for a while. Hi, Smashcast. But CG. So much CG, not enough actual gameplay. So if they had shown certain things, I actually would have been willing to give this conference an A. But I'm not going to give it an A. I'll wait to give the score though after the video. But let's go ahead and go through everything they talked about and they showed. They start off with Outworld that honestly doesn't look too intriguing. It kind of looks like your run of the mill, just kind of, you know, arcadey bullet storm type shooter. Everything they showed in the gameplay, it's just kind of been done before. It doesn't really look like there's anything that game is offering that you would need to buy that game for to experience. You know what I mean? I feel like that game is one of those games where it's like you've played that a million different times and there's really no reason to purchase that particular title. You know what I mean? Just kind of looks like your run the mill, kind of more goofy. Yeah, it's like a generic kind of more goofier shooter. You know what I mean? Just nothing really special there. Battletoads, yo, shouts to Matt Booty. Battletoads, I wasn't too crazy about the style, but the further the trailer went on, I kind of liked it a little bit more. The gameplay didn't look too great, but we'll see. I'll keep my eye on it. I won't say it looks bad. I won't say it looks good either, but I'll keep my eye on Battletoads. Ninja Theory's game Bleeding Edge. Conceptually, it looks like it could be cool, but we didn't see any gameplay of this. There's going to be a Blair Witch horror game, which they showed no gameplay of. Crossfire. Thank you. I forgot about Crossfire. I don't know where that was, but we'll just insert it over here. No gameplay. Dying Light 2 announced you're playing some like Batman wannabe motherfucker trying to liberate the post-apocalyptic, society or whatever. I wish I could give opinions on these games, but no gameplay. But they still get some, points for at least announcing these games, right? Because they still are world premieres. It's still like the first time, these games are being announced and stuff like that. So they get a little bit of points, but just the lack of gameplay is just fucking killing me with this conference and E3 in general, man. Xbox Game Pass. Okay, now this shit is really fucking good. They announced I should have wrote them down, but they announced a good number of actual like really solid titles for the Game Pass. What was it, guys? I think they had Borderlands. I think they had Ori 1, I want to say, and they had like Metro. Yeah, they had Metro, and what was the other game? Batman. Yeah, Batman Arkham City. Yeah, Batman, Metro, Borderlands, Hollow Knight. That's what it was. Yeah, Hollow Knight. So those games are available right now through the pass, and they announced that when it launches on PC, well, it's already launched now, but they already had like 100 games ready to go for PC, and of course the Halo Master Chief Collection, which fuck, I need to get that right now. Now that I remember it, I've been streaming this whole time. I haven't been able to get that shit, but I'm subscribing to this thing. I think it's a damn good deal. These games are going to have crossplay. I think 15 a month is definitely worth the fucking yeah. I'm prepared as fuck. I think it's definitely worth the cost of the amount of games and the quality of games, right? Because it could be like some of those months with PlayStation Plus where, like, oh yeah, we're giving you free games, but they'll throw some like bullshit at you. You know what I mean? Like you're actually getting some good quality games on this pass. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I think it's a damn good deal. I can't complain. I already unsubscribed from my Hulu. I'm going to unsubscribe from a couple other services that I'm currently subscribed to kind of make room for this because, I kind of capped myself at being subscribed to a certain number of things, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think the Game Pass is a good deal. I'm excited to play the Master Chief Collection on PC. That will definitely be a stream game for sure. As long as it runs well on PC and I don't have to worry about, it colliding with my fucking XSplit and all that. But I thought it was all just a really good deal. I think that was one of the stronger parts of their conference. Actually, that was their second strongest part of their conference, was the whole Xbox Game Pass stuff, and they talked about how, game streaming and how you can play your games, anywhere, and something about your Xbox being a game terminal, which I'm not sure what they meant by that, because like it's a game box, like of course it's a terminal. I'm not sure exactly, how they were saying that, but but yeah, I thought all that stuff was pretty good, pretty legit. Gears 5, no gameplay. But I mean, like, it's Gears. I guess it'll be Gears. That's the thing. Like, it's just crazy how so many games were announced, but you can't actually give opinions on them. You know what I mean? Because they weren't fucking shown. They weren't fucking shown. I'm sure there is gameplay on YouTube, but I'm doing a conference review. I'm doing a conference review. And the whole trailer they had with, like, the chick, like, just standing there looking at the camera and everyone, like, freaking out in their head. It was just, I understand what they were going for, but it was just kind of strange. It was just kind of strange. Age of Empires 2 remake, not anything huge, but it's cool. That's definitely a game, I used to fuck with as a kid back in the day, so it's cool to see that game remastered. Maybe if I have, excess money anytime soon, maybe I'll actually cop that. We'll see. The Dragon Ball Z game, I'll say exactly what I said live when I was watching the conference. On the surface, it looks cool. On the surface, it looks good. But it is a 3D anime game. So I can't get excited. I can't look forward to it. I can't be optimistic because we all know how licensed titles in general, but especially 3D anime titles go. We know how they go. So it could look good. It could look amazing. Like, oh my God, visually it looked fine. It looked like it ran pretty well. But it's going to be all about that gameplay. We're going to have to see how it plays. It could just be another anime game where you're just mashing one button and just doing indiscriminate, flashy bullshit without requiring any skill from the player, any type of thought process, any type of tact, or finesse within the gameplay. I mean, we all know how these fucking stupid ass licensed anime titles go. I don't really have to go into much explanation of that, but we'll keep an eye on that. Now, this was the biggest announcement for me personally, and also the biggest, I think, objectively as well. Like, I think this is their biggest announcement, was actually a Phantasy Star Online 2. Yes, it's on PC, but having that as a console exclusive, that is it's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good blow against the PS4. I don't think that's gonna make any changes, right? That's not gonna have people like, oh, I'm dropping my PS4 and getting the Xbox One, nothing like that. But that's a pretty good, console exclusive MMO to have. And the reason why this announcement was huge is because this game has been out for a minute in Japan. Did my Twitch chat just freeze, or is no one talking? This game has been out in Japan for a minute, and all the way up until this time, Sega was acting like they just had no desire to. Okay, yeah, the chat just stopped. What the fuck? What is y'all problem? I got 90 people in here, and everyone just stopped talking at the same time. Anyways, Sega was acting like they had, no intent on localizing this game, and people were saying over and over again, like, bring this shit out. Like, what are y'all doing? And they're just like, nah. So the fact that this kind of came out the blue and at a Microsoft conference, and it's finally getting localized over here to the West, like, that's a pretty big deal. I played Phantasy Star Online heavily back in the 360 days. I miss those days so much. Coming home from high school and just playing some fucking Phantasy Star, man. So it's very nostalgic for me, and I've always wanted this game to get localized so I can play it. So definitely gonna be playing this game. I'm not gonna be playing it on console. Of course, I'll be getting the PC version, but it won't matter because it's gonna be cross-play anyways. So I gotta give Microsoft props for like really actually taking cross-play seriously. Because, ever since last generation, this is something gamers have said, they've wanted developers to focus more on. And it really seems like Microsoft's the only company, like, actually taking it seriously. You know what I mean? Like, they're actually actively pushing cross-platform play. And I really appreciate that. Granted, it is easier to do if you're just doing it with PC. But, it's nice to see a company making things, not as restricted as possible for fucking gamers, right? You don't have to be like, oh, well, do I have to try to buy this version or that version, right? And Microsoft has approached Sony multiple times about getting crossplay with some PS4 games like that, and in the past, Sony was the ones being stubborn and all that shit. So, but moving on from that, yeah, that was the biggest announcement. I freaked out a little bit about Phantasy Star Online 2. Tales of Arise looks good. Looks good. I have not played a Tales game since, this is going to be sad, but Symphonia 2, which was not a very good Tales game at all. I didn't play Vesperia. I didn't play Graces. I didn't play any of those. Like, Symphonia, I played Symphonia, then Symphonia 2, and like those are the last ones I played. Or I might hop back into Arise, because Arise looks pretty damn good. Might have to fuck with that. Psychonauts 2, I've never played Psychonauts. I hate the way Psychonauts looks. I think it has an incredibly ugly and grotesque art style. I can't stand the way the characters look. I'm not interested in it. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are excited about it, and that's cool. That's fine. I'm happy for you guys. Me personally, I don't give a fuck. I just don't like the way the game fucking looks. I can't play it. Crossfire, just kind of run the mill Xbox, bang bang, boom boom, you know, dude bro type shit. Kind of looks run the mill. Borderlands 3. They didn't really show gameplay, but at least, and here's the thing, developers. If you're gonna do like a CG, trailer for your game or whatever, at least do what they did with this trailer, right? Like, they at least had the gameplay ideas within the trailer, the CG trailer, you know what I mean? So it kind of gave us a glimpse at, the story and how the characters function, right? The abilities and stuff like that. Like, at least do that. But still, CG, no gameplay. What about ray tracing? But excited for Borderlands 3. I loved Borderlands 1. I especially love Borderlands 2. I will be copping Borderlands 3 day one. I will be streaming that as well. Elden Ring. Dialogue-wise, dope trailer. The cinematography in the trailer was dope. Did it tell us anything? No. Did it show us anything? No. Do we know a damn thing about this game? Not really. And you can kind of see this is a reoccurring theme. Like, there's just no information given for these games. There's no gameplay given for these games. Like, it's just crazy. I understand that there were 60 games that they showed, but just replace the CG with gameplay, and you can fit everything in within the same amount of time. Problem solved. Or just mix it, have a trailer mix, have some CG in it, have some gameplay in it. Easy. It's not rocket science. They talked a little bit about the next system. I think they spent like way too much time on it, but they didn't really give too much detail. It's just kind of, jacking themselves off. We're making the most powerful system alive. This system's going to suck your dick. Like, oh my God, you're going to wake up in the morning and this system is going to put pancakes on your fucking bed for you type shit. Yeah, it was just all specs. They didn't really talk about how the system was actually going to innovate gaming really, or push gaming to the next level. It was just kind of like 8K, 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 power, RAM, flops. We know how they talk about their systems. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like, it's always exciting having new hardware come out. And I've always said this, and I'll say it here again. My problem with newer hardware is that they promise all these higher resolutions, and they talk about how these systems are like so much stronger, and yet, we still struggle targeting max resolution with max frame rate. You see what I mean? Like, or even like sub 1080 60 frames, for some of these fucking systems we have these days. You know what I mean? Like, so I think they said, 4 times as powerful as the Xbox One X? That sounds really dope. That sounds really cool, right? But the problem is the developers don't necessarily, they don't focus on the right aspects of their games. When these new consoles come out, it's like they put all the resources into just pushing like the pixel counts on this rock. Right, or on this wall. Let's make this wall the most detailed looking fucking wall, right? So they use a lot of the power to push graphical fidelity rather than to push game performance, right? And that's my fucking problem whenever they're circle jerking about this hardware and the flops and the RAM. Questo, appreciate the follow. That's my problem. That's why I can't get excited for new hardware, because most developers just take the opportunity to make their game shinier rather than making their game simply run better. Can we focus on performance first? Once we get performance nailed, then you guys could push the visuals as much as you would like. But they're talking about 8K and stuff like that. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. The PS4 Pro does 4K. You know what I mean? I'm sure this is going to be 8K. And maybe they will have some true 8K games, but it's going to be shit like, some 2D indie games. Maybe something like Ori or something like that. But I highly, highly doubt we'll get some major AAA game that is going to be an true 8K resolution and running at 60 frames, solidly locked. No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking. Oh, also AI. Yeah, we have all this powerful ass CPUs, and yet our AIs have not really improved. You know what I mean? So I'm down for having more power. I love beautiful looking games. Of course, who doesn't? Who doesn't want better looking games? All I'm saying is that is not a priority for me. There's a fucking gnat flying around. Get performance down first, then I'll get excited about the actual graphical fidelity, but I'm more concerned about getting 60 frames. They're talking about 120 frames. I'm not going to say that's impossible. That's not going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. But can we first get 60 locked at 1080 as a standard? Like, if a game is announced, we know that game is going to be 1080 60. Then we can start talking about 4K 60. And then if we can get 4K, true 4K 60 consistently, then by all means go for the 8K 120. But let's get the basics down here first. Yeah, you said let's get some games first. We already know next gen Microsoft is not going to have exclusives. That's not going to happen. Everything they make is going to be on PC. And then they ended with Halo, which I was looking forward to, because anyone who's been a longtime fan of me knows I fuck with the Halo series. I love the Halo franchise. Unfortunately, the reoccurring theme of the conference still hit Halo. 21, thank you for the 10, but let's not be selfish. Anyway, it's LTG reference. Another just CG trailer, like no fucking gameplay. Just no fucking gameplay. So, still a lot of premieres. And yes, really no exclusives. A lot of the shit's on PC. I'm not sure if Halo has been announced for PC or not. If not, that'd be the only real exclusive there. But yeah, no true exclusives. But they still get world premieres, and there's still a large quantity of games, right? So they get points for that. They get props for that. Also, good pacing, right? The conference wasn't poorly paced. They didn't necessarily waste time like that. You know what I mean? It was kind of just like last year, kind of rapid fire, game after game after game after game. You have to respect that. And it's crazy because looking at Microsoft's conferences in between, 2009 and the early Xbox One conferences, you would never think that Microsoft would be the one to actually seemingly still understand what E3 is about and give us what we want out of an E3. You know what I mean? Think about it, Nintendo stepped out of it completely in the conference sense, right? That they're not on stage anymore. That's whack. Of course I'm used to the Nintendo Directs by now and all that shit, but I still think it's whack to just not be on stage and have that type of presentation, because that's just what we grew up on, right? That's what we know and love. Sony last year, that was a fucking joke. And then the 2 years before that, they've shown the same games for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? And Sony always circle jerk. They always, busting a nut with their montages. Sony will announce one game, announce another, and then they'll immediately do a montage of those two games they just started off with. Type shit. You know what I mean? Sony's just always about oh, look how fucking great we are. We're the fucking best. We're fucking Sony. All that shit. You know what I mean? Those errors are part of what makes E3 so great, though. Is this a thing, 20? But yeah, it's crazy. 2 years in a row, Microsoft has given us, the most E3 type of E3 conferences. So whether or not you thought what they showed was garbage or whatever, Microsoft has been being true to E3. And they've done it well. Like I said, the pacing is good. The quantity of the things they have shown have been good. This year and last year, they've done good. They've done really solid E3 conferences. So, for this year, I will give Microsoft a B. I will give them a B. I was thinking about a B+, but going through this list and seeing the amount of no gameplay from all these fucking games, you know, B. B. If they showed gameplay for at least most of these games, I would have easily given it an A-. But they get a B because no fucking gameplay for these goddamn games. No fucking gameplay for these goddamn games. But they focus on games, you know, and it's funny because in between Microsoft's conference and Bethesda, we went back and we rewatched all the like really horrid E3 conferences, and we saw Microsoft's, 2012, and it was all like TV, fantasy sports, right? Streaming services, yada yada, smart glass, and all this shit, right? And so like looking at that, and then looking at what Microsoft did this year and last year, it is completely night and day. You know what I mean? Like, they completely turn that shit around. Hopefully they can keep it up. Microsoft would be cool if they would just make some goddamn exclusives for their console, so they actually give people a reason to buy their console over the others or over a PC. But there's still no reason to buy an Xbox unless you just really don't want to fuck with the PC that much. But PCs are not that hard to put together, right? They're not that complicated, but if you just really don't want to fuck with the PC, I guess the Xbox is the system for you. But for anyone else who is willing to get a PC, there's really just no reason to get an Xbox, And Microsoft seems to be completely okay with that. They seem to be completely dead set on going down this path of kind of having the Xbox brand be more of a service rather than being console-centric. And I guess that's cool. That's fine. It's their money, not mine. They can do what they want. But it would be nice to see like Microsoft actually competing in the game space again, in terms of exclusives. Like, I want to own all the systems because I've always loved doing that. I've always, just the collector in me, you know what I mean? But even as a collector, I just feel no fucking need or no motivation to go out and buy an Xbox One because, basically the entire library is accessible on my PC as well. You know what I mean? So there just really isn't a point. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Also, Phil Spencer gained some weight, man. You need to start hitting the gym, my dude. But yeah, I'll give the conference a B. I was not disappointed in that conference at all. I wasn't blown away either, but I think they had a good amount of solid announcements. They had a good number of world premieres. The major problem with that conference is one problem that's been a problem since the dawn of time for Microsoft. No exclusives, and then of course no gameplay. But those were really the only two problems with me. I thought the pacing was fine, the amount of things they showed was fine, the games they showed were quality, good games, and of course that's not everything there. They showed some other ones, but I just kind of got the more like noteworthy things, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of like a Steam box, really. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on Microsoft's conference. I will have my video review on Bethesda's. I don't know. We'll see. I might do it right after this video. But that's it for Microsoft. There will be one on Bethesda's. And of course, guys, I will be streaming Ubisoft's tomorrow as well as Square Enix's. And then on Tuesday, of course, be doing Nintendo's. Tell them to subscribe. Don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe, guys. This is Generic YouTuber 2008, and I'm out of here. Peace.